sorry to interrupt your normal programming to bring you this development of a recent news story. I am your special news correspondent, Johnny Woodrow. Yesterday afternoon, an altercation occurred at the Arkham Museum of Archaeology and Paleontology. During a seemingly normal day, multiple masked and cloaked individuals made their way inside before raiding the museum of various artifacts from multiple displays. Local guard, Pierce Dudley, says that the individuals appeared as if by magic, before setting about looting the place. Dudley was able to wrestle one of the perpetrators into submission, who was later arrested before the remaining individuals fled the scene with their loot in tow. The perpetrator, ascertained by Dudley, was taken away to custody in a cell in Arkham Penitentiary. Museum curator Lucius Mayweather has put out a sizable reward for the stolen artifacts, or any information that could lead to their recovery. When asked to make a quote on the event, Mayweather said that the items that take precedent...
In the cool fall of 1926, three strangers are drawn together, their fates inexorably pushed towards something much darker than the norm. From various walks of life do they come. A con man, a man of science, and a veteran from the Great War stand outside the recently robbed Arkham Museum of Archaeology and Paleontology, each drawn by motivations unknown, whether it be whimsy, greed, or some sort of past relationship. They find that they soon will be plunged into a world unlike anything seen before. So, walking at the head of the group towards this rather humble museum is the con man.
Shit, I have to go first.
You have to go first.
I will be playing Walter King. Walter King is a Caucasian man, not uncommon in the 1920s for obvious reasons.
Especially around Massachusetts.
He stands at just like an even 5'10". Wears a nice pair of glasses with black hair that's well groomed, a constant smile that some would consider smarmy, and wears a very nice brown suit with a nice tie with some good Oxford dress shoes. He was currently in the middle of putting his pipe away as he is approaching the front of the museum.
Alright. Following shortly behind him, the veteran. I feel like he's got a lot to say.
Yes, I do. But first off, hello everyone. My name's Zev. I'm playing today the role of the veteran from the Great War, also known as Yannik Hammerstein. I come from the fatherland, and at a tall number of about 6 foot, decently muscular with light brown hair, heterochromia, my blue eye being a bit white and my left eye being a little bit gray. I'm wearing a modest brown suit with a nice smile on my face and a newspaper in hand with a doctor's bag in the other. Oh, and there's also a scar on my left cheek, along with the fact that my face is about chemically burnt as well, but that's not need to be worried about. I personally am just curious about everything.
Sounds like war stories for later.
Yeah, I'm sure this will come up later.
And lastly, bringing up the rear, if I'm not mistaken, very interesting man of science.
Hello, my name is Adam, and I am going to be playing Gregory Feldman. Master's degree and doctorate in the progress.
Nice.
Alright, so I was born in Boston. Born and raised.
Shooting b-ball, enjoying most of your days.
Yeah, until a couple of guys who were up to no good started kicking my ass up and down the neighborhood. I kicked their ass too, and they got scared, and that's how I became the Prince of Boston, Massachusetts.
Aww.
Ouch.
I have, upon looking at me, you notice I have short, groomed red hair, the goatee. I'm relatively tall. Some would consider me dorkish and gangly, but those people can fuck themselves. But yeah, I am working on my doctorate's degree in physics and dabbling in chemistry. And I'm here largely because my professor, good old friend Dr. Wolfram Oppenheimer, a friend of his has been affected by this break-in, and I need to look into this myself. So that is why I'm here.
All right. And lastly, I guess I should introduce myself. I am Jarrod, keeper of arcane lore, and basically everyone in existence all at once. You could basically call me Nyarlathotep at this rate.
You're Azathoth.
Nah, that means I'm sleeping through this, and I'm unfortunately awake. So
That is a shame for us.
We can fix that for you.
that's a threat. All right, so you three strange fellows, bound together by fates unknown, also known as my writing, make your way into the museum. It's a cozy place. It's much smaller than, say, the Miskatonic Museum. Doesn't have as much funding, but it's got some stuff going on. You can see various, like, taxidermied animals, various, like, bone samples from various different creatures. Kind of hard to tell if you aren't, skilled in that. Is anyone actually skilled in paleontology?
Nope, I don't have that.
My interests are more oriented around the physical nature of how matter moves in reality.
That's what I was thinking.
That and how chemistry works.
Ah, yes. Chemicals.
I'm just here to enjoy the sights. And yes, Walter King does indeed have something of a southern accent.
Why don't you
Or
give us
does
a
he?
why don't you give us a taste of that?
A taste of my soothing docile tones.
This checks.
That's the one.
This passes. This passes.
Good. I was very afraid of coming in with this accent.
I mean, you're not gonna offend us.
An accent on top of an accent. I think it's hilarious. It's brilliant.
Now, I may be a small town lawyer, but I do declare there had been a crime here.
Atticus?
Now, I might be a small town girl living in a lonely world.
Just hop on the damn train already.
I took the midnight train and I went anywhere.
Anywhere.
Guys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, and P.S. My name is Caleb, and I'm playing Walter King.
Thank you.
Walter King, our resident Australian.
Well, Caleb is. Walter isn't.
Yeah, that separation of church and state, person and player. All right.
Yeah.
But you're in, and you are greeted by a rather sturdily built old man, probably going on his 60s, if not in his 60s. And he walks up and goes, "Oh, hello, welcome. Sorry, we're kind of not open right now, in case you didn't know. See, we've been robbed, so if you're hoping to see the sights in here, that's kind of not allowed right now, due to, well, legal concerns."
Well, my apologies, but I'm here on behalf of a friend of my my professor, Dr. Oppenheimer.
Oh, Oppenheimer, you say?
Yeah, friend of his. I believe he's somewhere in the Department of Agriculture, Paleontology. I don't know. I didn't pay attention.
Well, if you're a friend of Oppenheimer, then you're a friend of mine. Welcome, welcome. You want to help?
Yeah. I don't know what these goons are doing. They came in front of me. Hey, it's closed, you know.
Well, I apologize, my friends, but I'm here on something of a curiosity. Hello, my name is Walter King. A pleasure to meet you, fine sir. He holds out his hand for a handshake.
The elderly gentleman will walk up and shake your hand. He's like, "Well, Mr. King, it's very nice to meet you. If you think you could help out, I will take anything I could get at this point."
Of course, I'm a man of many generosities. I will help if I can. I do also believe that there is something of a reward for helping you catch these dastardly doers.
There is indeed a small lump sum of cash that we have stowed away for rainy days like this. Though I would say personally that the greatest reward is knowing you did something right. But
Of course, but the money helps.
the money helps. And
Yeah, that's mainly the reason why I'm here too. Money as well.
I mean, to help my friend, but also money.
Not gonna lie, it's nice.
And as for you, you strange-looking gentleman, no offense,
None taken, thank you very much.
are you also here to help?
Yes, I'm more of a, how can you say, curious as a kitten.
Curiosity and the cat. Well, you must be careful, lest it kill you. But considering this was just a simple break, and I doubt anything too crazy could have happened.
Yes.
Alright, so The curator is going to bring you all further inside and introduce himself. He's going to say to you all, well, I am Lucius Mayweather. I have been running this place for the last 2 decades now, ever since my poor boss passed away. Mr. Cecil Clark, if you ever met him, very good man, very, very good man. Brought most of what you see in here, well, here. But unfortunately, well, time erodes all things, people included. But maybe we could hold on to some of those scraps for later. So he's going to bring you into a side room. If I'm going to be very honest with you, the lost items are... How do I put this? Bizarre? Strange, even. They didn't steal anything of incredible import. They stole some arrowheads, like a couple of bones from a display case. He then references a spot where obviously a bust should be, but the bust is gone. He's like, they even stole Mr. Clark himself. Well, what was his bust, obviously. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't even think they could sell that. Everything else was, treasure you could sell to a collector, but everything else is just confusing.
Did Mr. Clark have any enemies? I mean, that would only make sense if they stole his own bust.
Yes, that would.
I never knew. Unfortunately, Mr. Clark has been passed away these last few years, so it's not like we could ask him unless one of you's going to pull something sneaky and reveal surprise, Mr. Clark has faked his death.
Haha, if only, my friend, if only. But, no, I'm afraid your Mr. Clark is perhaps dead for good.
I would imagine.
But, if they've taken his bust, does feel suspicious, and perhaps is something of a more personal nature. The arrowheads and the bones, the arrowheads themselves, were they part of any particular exhibit, or they were just...
We have a few exhibits on the various Indian tribes that lived in the area, but honestly, most of them are all stored together for the sake of organization. If we were to spread all the different cultures out, all over the place, well, we simply wouldn't have room for them, so that's how we've been handling things here.
I see.
If you have any questions about the investigation, it has been mostly a personal matter. The security guard on duty, he's currently in the Egyptology room. Pierce Dudley is his name. I think he was in the paper for his heroics, but he's currently investigating himself. If you have any questions, he actually helped capture one of the perpetrators during the event, so he might know a little bit more than I.
Didn't get hauled up to prison or jail or whatever?
Oh, the fellow? Yes, if I'm not mistaken, he's currently in an Arkham penitentiary or something.
Ah, okay.
So, if you could weasel your way into a prison cell, maybe you could interview the prisoner himself.
Well, I don't intend to do anything to get me put in prison. I don't want to say hello to anyone.
Well, I'm not saying get yourself imprisoned. I'm just saying, visit.
I mean, it's definitely one way to get in.
We could perhaps entice the police to grant us maybe just an audience with the man, if nothing else.
That would probably work.
Yannik looks down at his doctor's bag, clear with the insignia that is the cross on it.
Ah, the Iron Cross.
Or maybe said prisoner could need a doctor's visit.
That could also work.
Wouldn't you brought him to the hospital first if he needed care?
Mr. Mayweather just shrugs.
I mean, I don't know how much he got roughed up if he got his face broken, Give him the Boston sleep. Let him just lay in the alleyway for a while.
So you guys have a lead in the form of a prisoner, and you also have a lead in the fact that you could still have a museum you could investigate.
Well, I say that while we're here, we should probably check out the actual museum itself.
Well, I say, my fellow, that is a fine idea. Shall we get to it?
Oh, yes, that little bit of hands-up investigation will do us greatly.
Well, the sooner begun, the sooner done, so Go on, be free. If you have any other questions, you could talk to me, talk to Dudley, and if anything seems amiss, then he just kind of shrugs. Well, that's what we're here for. If you don't mind, I need to get to the front, because if someone walks in expecting to have an enjoyable museum, I'm going to have to turn them away, and it does my heart some pain. He just kind of picks himself up and starts walking.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are free in the museum, quote unquote.
Wunderbar.
Well, it's not my favorite museum. I prefer the Museum of Natural Arts and History, but, you know.
Well, I myself have something of an eye for art, but I think that our current goal should be to investigate this place as well as we can.
All right, I say we go and talk to this Dudley character. What say you, fellow? I don't believe we shook hands earlier.
No, we have not. I'm sorry. He reaches out his hand for a firm handshake. Yannik Hammerstein, a pleasure to meet you.
Mr. Feldman. Working on my doctorate's degree. It'll soon be Dr. Feldman.
Well, you'll be a different type of doctor than I. Yannik gestures to his little bag, and you can hear some actual, cluttering inside it.
And it looks like I'll have to shake both your hands, perhaps at the same time. Hello there, friends. My name is Walter King, salesman of Queenly Enterprises. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So, what are you? Are you a rolling clinic? What is that?
I am a doctor. Sometimes I sometimes go from place to place. Sometimes I don't.
So what? You a hobo?
No. I have a small little apartment in Salem.
So, what kind of clientele do you get?
Oh, I get all sorts of clientele. Sometimes I get the old. Sometimes I get the young.
Right. Okay. We're not investigating your ass. Excuse my.
Please. I've heard verse.
We're going to. All right. Let's go and look into this. Was it now Dudley character? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. We'll go and look into him.
Well, lead on. Let us speak to the man.
Now, I'm gonna be a jackass real quick. Who remembers the exhibit I said he was currently in?
Egyptology.
My boy! Yep. So you make your way to the little Egyptology exhibit where they have very, very nice things. They have the canopic jars. They have various, ancient artifact weapon kind of things. Of course, behind glass and well guarded. But the standout has to be a centerpiece, which seems to be a sarcophagus, though the glass case that it was inside of has been shattered.
So this is where the bust was stolen, right?
No, the bust was actually stolen out of, the open, foyer.
All right.
This is just the, Egyptian exhibit, and they have a sarcophagus, which you could assume probably has a mummy inside of it.
All right.
And standing in the area, looking over the exhibits with, I would say a keen eye, but that'd be a lie, with some rather hazy eyes and a rather strange walk to him, is a security guard by his uniform, who turns to you and goes, "Oh, hey, you're not supposed to be in here."
Actually, yes, we are. We were talking to Lucius, and we're here to help investigate. And we heard that you apprehended one of the fellas.
Oh, yeah, I kind of tackled him when he got in here. He wasn't very much of a fighter.
Okay. So, let's start from the very beginning, right? Because the newspaper paint a rather sensational detail of it being magical, and well, I have my cynicisms about what kind of dribble the newspapers print.
Yes, my friend. Give us a step-by-step.
He's gonna look at you guys, and you could see he has a lazy eye for one thing. And he's like, "Okay, so, well, I was standing guard in that, room for the Native American Indians and things. And I was looking at one of the exhibits, because it was just catching my eye, if you know what I'm talking about.
No,
And then
what are you talking about?
I was looking at it because I thought it was fancy.
I understand that. You are an innately curious fellow like myself.
Anyway, I was looking, And then I heard a bit of a ruckus coming from like the front of the museum. And when I looked about, there were about 4 of them. And he kind of holds up his hands to like hold up the fingers. There were 4 of them came in, and 2 of them came my way, and like 2 of them went off towards. And then he kind of points at the Egyptology like exhibit. Then he points at the glass. Obviously, I couldn't stop them because, well, I was not in the right room at the time. But I did manage to tackle one of them down when he came over and started to rifle through some artifacts. He came in and just pried one of the windows open and was ready to like steal the arrowheads and like pointy sticks and whatnot. And I was worried he was probably going to try to poke someone with one of the pokey sticks. So naturally, I tackled him to the ground and started yelling at him and his buddies, and it was all hell had been broken loose. And thankfully, I got him into a nice old pen. And by the time I was able to like get him tied up and like bound to something, I looked up and the rest of them had already made off with what they wanted. Honestly, it was just real bad.
So, what did the fellas look like?
Well, besides the one that I caught, they were all wearing, masks and stuff. They had these real long, billowy looking cloak things, probably trying to hide themselves because they were committing crimes and whatnot. But the one that I did catch, it shocked me to a core. Took his mask off, took his hood down. It was just some kindly looking old man. Not what I was expecting. I was expecting some, rambunctious youths or something. But no, I got myself like a weird old man, and he just kind of looked at me funny and kind of blinked and then didn't blink and then it blinked again. I tried to talk to him and whatnot, and he just kind of ignored me.
That's very odd.
Sounds like he didn't expect to be caught.
Probably not.
That is very suspicious. So this is just an old man, like 60s, 70s, something like that?
Probably late 60s. I mean, I couldn't get his name. He wouldn't talk to me is all, but, I mean, the cops came in and they tried to question him too, and, I mean, he did the same thing, just kind of looked at them and, occasionally he'd blink. I don't know, it's like, he was just giving us all the cold shoulder.
Is there any other details about this elderly man that you can tell us?
Well, besides that, when I was wrestling him, he was really cold to the touch. Like, he might have some sort of, I read about this once. There's, blood circulation problems you could have, makes you real cold, so maybe he has blood problems.
That is actually a little true. I have encountered some patients before and the like with situations like that. Yannik says as he just kind of adjusts his tie a little.
But yeah, no, he was taken up to Arkham Penitentiary, or maybe it was a different police station, I don't remember. Honestly, the cops didn't really give me much of the time of day, since I'm just a lowly security guard instead of an actual, police officer.
Hey, my friend, don't listen to them. You are the resident hero of this town. Says so in the newspaper.
Aw, thanks.
Yes, and in fact, I was going to ask you if, during the scuffle, if you had been injured, because I noticed that when you were walking, it was a little bit off, and I was going to ask if you needed someone to look at that.
No, I just got myself a bad leg, is all. I've been working for so long, and it's just the way I was born. My mama says it's my special leg.
Well, if you ever do need help with that, I live in Salem, so it's a little bit a ways, but I don't mind making a house call if you ever deserve it.
Aww.
Dr. Yannik Hammerstein, by the by.
Well, I'm still Pierce Dudley, and it's been great meeting y'all, let me say.
Oh, well, pleasure, friend. Walter King, by the way. Pleasure to meet you.
Okay. So, yeah, the places that he's described, you guys have the bust that was stolen in, the foyer, depending on pronunciation. There's the, Native American exhibit where some arrowheads were stolen, and checks notes. Screen is loading, sorry. Bones were stolen from a section that had the, Paleontology exhibit and all that jazz. And the Egyptology exhibit, the glass to the sarcophagus was shattered, to your knowledge, so...
But the sarcophagus wasn't taken.
No, the sarcophagus was not taken, though the glass has just, been jacked.
Okay. I think Walter will look around the Egyptian exhibit. He'll look to where they had kind of broken the glass and see if they managed to, like, I don't know, tamper with the sarcophagus or anything like that.
Yeah, in that case, give me a spot hidden, I think would be the one for this. To look it over, see if there's any strange occurrences.
Yeah, I agree.
The first roll of the game.
Hey,
The
guys.
first roll of the game.
First roll of the game.
It's happening!
Watch me fuck up.
Extreme
Oh,
success!
extreme success!
Oh.
Wow.
First off, lovely. So, you're looking it over, and in your line of work, you've seen people who try aggressive means for opening things.
Yeah, it's a very common occurrence.
Yeah. You can see that there's been some chipping on the side of the sarcophagus where it looks like a crowbar was applied to it, probably to pry it open. And it doesn't look like it's something that was done when they found it who knows how many years ago. It looks fresh.
Okay, so do I get the sense that it was actually opened, or it was just like they attempted but kind of fucked but failed?
With that extreme success, you could assume that they just like shunted it open real quick and then they put it back in place.
Huh. So the sarcophagus was opened. Alright. Well, I guess that's my investigation bit done. So I guess we can pull in info after we've done our stuff. So what are you guys doing?
I am looking where the bones were.
Alright.
I'll question Dudley more about his story and whatnot.
Okay.
I'll let
Yannik
go.
Alright, Yannik. So I would say give me a spot hidden if you're looking for things that were possibly left behind, or I don't really know what you're looking for specifically, so...
That is the plan. I am looking to see if there's anything left behind that could be of great use to us, or anything unique about what they took.
Alright. Success.
Oh.
Look at you guys. Man, that was a difficult one for you. You're not too good at this, are you? That's...
You shut up.
It's that bad eye of yours. But you still managed. So, while you're looking around, you see there's like a glass case with various bones that are from the multiple different animals that could be found in the area. And they're all labeled, you got like the common possum, you've got like hawk bones. You just got a lot of different collections. This is like the osteology, I guess you'd call it, or something. It's the Bony Boys. But at the case, you see where like there's a little key latch where you would obviously go to unlock it. And it hasn't been broken into or anything, but you see something kind of wedged in like the corner. And you approach and you start looking a bit closer and you see there's a fingernail that just looks like it's wedged between like the seals to the case. Like someone tried to pry it open and then ripped off a fingernail in the process.
Is there like any blood still attached to it?
No,
okay.
No, there is not.
Yannik is going to open up his doctor's bag. He's going to take out one of the small gauze strips that he has. He's just going to take like one of the little tweezers or whatever from his scalpel set. He's just going to carefully just take that fingernail, put inside a small piece of that gauze just to, carry it, and he's just going to tuck it in his bag.
Alrighty then. And yeah, you do that. And how is Feldman doing? You're still questioning my boy Dudley.
Yeah. All right, so Dudley, I suppose we asked you about what all they took, what they looked like, but where was Lucius when this all shook down, right?
Well, I suppose he was either in his office or he was at the front. And if he was at the front and saw them walking in, if I were him, I would have ran. But I mean, I'm me, so it's my job to get in the way. So,
well, I suppose if he saw them up in the front, I suppose he'd also have a better look at maybe some other interesting things that stood out to him when these hooligans came in the building.
I mean, he could have, but I don't rightly know.
All right, Dudley, you've been a peach. I'm gonna move on, and if something comes up, maybe I'll ask you some more things.
Yeah, okay, I'll just be about the building. I've been looking around and looking for things, so if I find anything, I'll let y'all know.
All right, sounds good. All right, I'm gonna go and find Lucius now.
Alright. Lucius is actually standing at where the bust used to be, and he's just kind of, like, stroking his chin looking at it.
So admiring the empty space now? Sorry, that's a bad joke. Anyway, I just got done talking to Dudley, the security officer, and I was kind of curious what you saw, because he said that you might have been in the front of the building when this happened, or maybe in your office. So I don't know how things shook down. So I'm curious what you saw.
Well, on that day, I was in my office, have to do some accounting every so often, you know, and seeing as we are in the beginning of the month, things are kind of happening, you know, financially. But when I heard all the ruckus, I did step out for a moment to see what was going on, and, well, that's when I saw Dudley on the floor with one of them, and then one came by with a crowbar. He seemed to have a book in his hands, and then there were two others that just kind of followed in his footsteps. I started yelling at them, obviously, but, well, they just kind of hurried on out and hopped in some sort of car. It was, can't remember the model.
Probably 4T.
Maybe I'm very bad with vehicles. Too
I don't
modern
know, that's
for
just
me,
the first
you
thing
know?
that came to mind. I'm gonna be really embarrassed if the 4T was not made until much later.
Ah, yes, the Model T.
The Model T was October 1st, 1908. All right, cool.
I was about to say, Model T's a very, like, old vehicle.
It's old, yeah.
By the time you
alright.
get to the 20s, you have some pretty, quote-unquote, modern-ish vehicles in comparison.
Yeah, it's still around.
I mean, have you seen what Jay Gadsby drives? That thing's nice.
Yes, I have,
I don't
and
remember.
it is.
It's the bee's knees. But they hopped into a vehicle and they were on their way out.
I'm assuming. Did they? It would seem peculiar to me if. Was this book on display as well?
Honestly, I don't even know what book it was. I've never seen it before. Maybe he brought it in. Maybe it had some. Maybe it was his own personal notes or anything on what he wanted to take.
That would probably make sense to me. That's what he would have done, because you just don't rob a museum willy nilly.
I know.
That'd be dumb.
I mean, of course, a lot of these could be sold to collectors and traders for a pretty penny, you could say. But I mean, a book. I mean, they're collectors, sure, but that's a much smaller market.
I mean,
Also,
if they took the mummy, this is an old story I used to hear. I don't know if they still do, but they used to grind mummies up and honey them, and they just eat them like it's a panacea. The stupid things people do to try to cure something.
Yes, those old witch doctor deals. Yeah, no, I don't believe they managed to get to our mummy, conveniently, but they certainly tried.
Well, I'm not the one investigating. I'm just sort of looking around and still trying to ask questions. But are you sure that's everything?
To my knowledge, yes.
Well, all right. I suppose I'll go follow up and see what the others have found, and if anything comes up, I suppose we'll go and look into the perpetrator. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go and to see what the others have been looking into.
So you all regroup to exchange notes, what you've all discovered.
So what do you two have been finding?
Well, I've
Well,
you want to go first, Jim? First, Yannik?
yes, actually. As I was looking around at the various lodges where the bones were kept, I noticed something was stuck in one of them. And he'll pull out from the doctor's bag in those tiny little gauze makeshift wrap that he did. He'll unfurl it, and you see a fingernail in there.
Like, is this like a guy's, like, not full fingernail, but it's like a decent chunk of it, I'm guessing?
Yeah, it's a pretty sizable chunk of a fingernail.
So it would probably be painful for the person if they had this removed.
Extremely.
Cool. So we know at least that there's going to be a guy walking around with less of a nail.
Actually, hold on. Looking at the fingernail, does it look like it's from any specific finger?
I guess
I don't think
I
I don't
mean-
think that's how it works.
You know, give me a medicine
Actually,
check.
I feel like
Yeah, you're
that's
gonna
a
need a
hard
medicine
success
check.
at least.
It's
That's
gonna
hard.
be difficult.
That's a hard
but-
one, my guy.
And also, listen, fingernails do vary depending on your finger. The only two that are like the major problem are your middle finger and your ring finger, because they're kind of similar.
Yeah, I would say the pinky, the main three fingers, and the thumb would be like the three distinguishing type of fingernails you could
But I
see.
think if it wasn't the thumb, it'd be
Yep.
hard to just eyeball it, you know?
Yeah, no. Ooh, that was so
yeah,
close
you're
too.
just looking at it, well, it definitely came from a human finger, so...
It's hard to tell which finger it came from, but it's a pretty sizable one.
Well, if anything, there's a fellow around here walking with one less finger, so that's something. Now, as for my findings, I had a look at that sarcophagus over there, and well, it appears that it was pried open with a crowbar very recently. I assume at the time of the break-in, but it doesn't seem like.
Did you open it?
Oh, I haven't. I was going to ask permission of our friend here, Dudley.
Oh, I suppose that's the proper thing to do.
Right. And is Dudley with us at the moment, or is he just kind of off on his own?
Dudley's like... You could describe him as AFK. He's here, but he's not there.
Oh, hey Dudley, my friend. He just snaps his fingers in front of his face.
Sorry. I was thinking.
Hi. Would
Hey,
you?
you okay? You tired? You need to sleep? Is this rattled, Jenny?
I mean, it was exciting when it first happened, but now I'm just worried they're gonna come back, and I mean, I got them the first time, but I don't know if I could do it a second time.
You are in a sense, what's the term? Heightening your senses in a way.
I'd say that I'm just very tired from the investigation, really.
Or that exhaustion is a bitch.
Sorry. You wanted to ask me a question or something? What was it?
Yes. If you would allow us, we would like to not tamper with, but would like to just open up the sarcophagus, if that would be all right.
I don't think I have permission to do that. I think you're gonna have to talk to Mr. Mayweather for that one, because yeah, I just guard things.
Dudley, well, what's a little secret between friends?
Huh? Okay, you know what? Roll persuasion.
Yes. Oh, I know. Okay, I'm too excited, so I'm gonna fuck up. I know it.
Well, not with that attitude.
There is persuasion.
I believe you can do
Extreme
it.
success
Oh my
again.
God.
See? See?
You've rolled nothing but extreme successes.
I know.
I've only rolled twice though.
He's rolled twice, but it's 2 extreme successes.
Watch
You
out.
see Dudley like slowly get this big smile on his face. He's like, "Oh, secrets are really exciting."
Oh, they are, my friend. They are. Well, wraps like an arm around your shoulder, like being all friend. Like, you know what? Why don't you open it for us? You know, because we're not really part of the staff here, so it'd be less. Wouldn't be appropriate.
You know that makes sense. All right, let's go. But we gotta be quick because if Lucius sees that I opened it, he's gonna start yelling, and it's always scary when he yells.
I will say it's a part of the investigation.
Exactly. If you get in trouble, we will help you out.
Walter has begun his manipulations.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Adam, the editor of this podcast, and also the player of Gregory Feldman, but that's not important. I have things to say to you. I would like to thank everyone for listening, and a special thanks to our keeper, Jarrod. This session was a blast to play, and we're just getting started. Things are going to get crazy. But since I got your attention, I'd like to ask you guys for a flavor. If you could like and share our podcast with your friends and people who you think might like this, that would be great. This podcast is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm really proud of the final product. Another thing that I would like to ask is if there's any musicians who would like to contribute to this podcast for music commissions, or you have something that you would like to willingly let us use for free, you can contact me at my email. My email is in the description below at adamjrutledge21@gmail.com. And before we get back into the game, I would also like to thank Zapsplat for hosting free, royalty-free music and sounds that I've used for the final product of this podcast. It's really been a lifesaver to help create an atmosphere and flesh out the audioscape. And with that, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
So you head on over to the Egyptology exhibit, minding the shattered glass from the case, and get to the sarcophagus. Dudley kind of stretches a bit and kind of plies his fingers under the lid and just slowly lifts it up and open. And inside you can see the mummy all shriveled up and ugly looking, pretty well wrapped. But actually, who would do this? What would the check be?
Spot hidden?
You know what? Sure, I'll allow spot hidden for this. Unless you want to roll like a medicine check on the body.
If we're analyzing anatomy and stuff like that, then yeah, I would imagine it would be.
I don't think we should all roll at once.
I will be looking over the anatomy.
Yeah, how about you guys do that? I'll say my bit was persuading the guard to essentially get in trouble for us.
All right, I'll roll a spot hidden.
And I will roll the medicine.
First roll I've made, 44 out of 30. I failed.
Jesus, guys.
Okay.
Oh, that is very sad.
I'm gonna throw it out there. If you want to, you can always push a roll and try again. But if you fuck up, it can really, really make things awkward. You'd also have to explain what you're doing to push the roll.
I don't think I'm going to push my luck. Haha. Mainly because it's like it's a 30% chance to succeed, so I don't think it would be.
Can I do a spot hidden? Maybe.
Go ahead.
Okay. I have a 60, so I have a better chance.
Yeah, better than us.
Nah, I'm not gonna push it.
I failed.
Wow.
I failed.
Okay, never mind.
Well, I don't think we, Jarrod, I don't think we see anything.
Nah, it's a
Unless you want to push your luck, you have a better chance.
it's a dead body.
It's a dead body. Oh boy. I kind of do, but I kind of don't, because I don't want to fuck up.
If you want to push, you have to explain what you're doing to push this luck.
Oh boy. Okay. You know what? I'll bite the bullet. What I'm doing is I think after looking at it, because I think my spot hidden right now was just a glance, and I think Walter, after everyone just kind of looks around and not really finding anything, he goes, well, it's time to investigate a little more. He rolls up his sleeves.
Oh no.
And gets kind of like almost intimately close with the mummy to really look good at
you're
it.
Shifting it around in its sarcophagus.
Like I'm instead of like looking at it, I'm actually going up to it and actually putting hands in to examine it.
Oh no.
So
this is gonna be great.
This is gonna only end well.
I would also like to say that I think that oftentimes that there are actual displays of pictures for the mummy. They would take pictures as a display, so they don't actually have to open the sarcophagus. So for reference, we might have some pictures that we could use to see if anything was missing based off
let
of...
him roll his spot hidden instead of giving us an entire explanation of what we'll do after it.
Okay, let's. Thank God.
Hard success.
Oh my god.
So as you start moving the body just a little bit, just kind of getting an idea, there's one thing you notice real fast. Rigor mortis. This body's stiff as a fucking board.
Oh boy.
But then you kind of follow the arms, and you can see that the way they're kind of stuck, it looks like they were clutching something, which obviously isn't there anymore.
Oh no. Well, shit. Well, friends, looks like they did take something from the mummy after all.
What does it seem like they took?
Dudley, puts his hands to his head. Oh no, that's not good!
Excuse me, I need to update my notes and write this shit down.
Oh man. I can just imagine the pushed luck failure as Lucius coming in while you're actually manhandling the mummy.
I was prepared to fully bullshit my way out, and I was probably gonna blame Yannik.
The German did it!
Oh, you motherfucker!
That's only the dark
That is
timeline.
only the what if. Oh my god, that's funny.
Well, your dark timeline is a wire around your neck.
We'll get to the dark timeline later. Anyway, yeah, it seems that the mummy was gripping onto something which has been taken from its hands. So, assuming that you're done with that, Dudley's gonna look at all of you. So should I put the lid back on the
Yes.
Yeah, put the lid back on the can of worms.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, and we will, I would say, have to ask for forgiveness instead of permission when we talk to Mr. Mayweather again, but I think he'll be interested to know what we found.
And I believe if we mentioned that something was missing beforehand, I feel like that would help in our case. Yannik shrugs at that and he then just goes, I'm going to take a look where the arrowheads were taken, though.
Go right ahead. While he does it, I'm just going to basically, I guess, comfort Dudley and tell him it wasn't his fault. That's just going on in the back. We don't need to do a roll for it.
I was about to say. Well, Dudley appreciates your concern.
All right, I guess I will return to Lucius with that revelation to confront him on that.
And while you're doing that, just for my boy who wants to look at the arrowheads, just give me a spot hidden.
I will do that.
Damn,
Oh
Zev.
no, that's an 85. That won't work.
No, it...
Yeah, Zev, you've been rolling bad. I think even with your good skills, you would have failed on these.
Yeah.
I mean, I succeeded, Vaughn.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's good
He
enough.
has not critical failured, though, so...
That is true.
Alright, so you head back to Lucius, who is currently in his office.
Hey, knock, knock, Doc.
Oh, hello.
All right, so something came up that I found interesting about the story you told me about the people with the book. So, when did you see these the people with the books?
Well, it was when they were running out after Dudley had tackled one of them.
When they were running out.
Yeah, they couldn't have been here longer than maybe 2 minutes at the most, so...
Yeah. I have a morbid question. Do you know what was in the sarcophagus in the Egyptology display?
Not off the top of my head. I could look over Clark's old notes. He might have something written down.
We might need to do that because we suspect that whatever was in there was stolen because there was crowbar marks on the sarcophagus. So they clearly managed to get in there, break the glass, and then pop the lid.
Well, that's not good at all.
No, they probably stole something. This is probably something akin to a heist of a century.
Oh, man, it's in our sleepy little town. Of course it is. Okay. I'll go through Clark's old notes. He has a lot of them. It might take me a while, but this revelation, maybe I could find what was...
Do you need anyone to help you look over them? You need help,
No,
Parson?
I should be fine. I'm quite skilled in the library that we have in this building. I wouldn't be the curator without that knowledge. But about
All right,
you guys...
but I mean, if you need help, I wrote dissertations. You know, I'm partially published. I know how to use the library too.
I understand that, but don't worry. I'm well...
Fair enough. I'm in your domain. I would probably punch some snotty lab assistant who got too curious myself.
I'm not trying to be mean or anything. It's just we have
I understand.
We have our own way of
I
doing
understand
things
fully.
here. If you give me a little bit of time, I'll get through it all. You could come back maybe in the evening, and I should hopefully have it found by then.
Yeah, sure. Want me to bring coffee, cigarettes?
Oh, no. Nothing for me. I'm simply, too stressed for anything relaxing these days.
Well, that's how you get older, I think. Anyway, take it easy, I guess. Well, I'll return later. We'll probably go down to the precinct and see what the perpetrator's up to.
Yeah, that sounds like a brilliant idea. Might have to call up an old friend, see if I can, get more information on what was in that casket. Alright.
Who would you call? Who's you gonna call?
Oh,
Ghostbusters.
we had an old fellow back in the day. I think his name was Thomas Pitts. He, Londonite, actually, did a lot of his work in Egypt. In fact, I think most of our notes are pertaining to him. Maybe you could give him a social call, ask him about it. Well,
Yeah, that's the Pitts. Ha! Okay. Anyway, let's see here. Yep, okay. I just had to check my pen, make sure it had ink.
But yeah, he should probably have a little bit of information about the casket, so you could probably talk to him. Though I must warn you, we haven't been in contact for a few years. He's He's been in a rough patch for the past few years, so...
Tell him, I don't know, maybe invite him out here for a tea, and if that don't work, tell him things came up, and we might be interested in talking to him.
I don't think he would appreciate me giving him a social call.
Alright, tell him the shit went fucked. Alright, pardon my French. Excuse me. Anyway, I guess I'll return to the... whatever those fellas are. I don't know them from Adam. I'll just go back, hope they didn't break anything.
That would be for the best.
At this point, Yannik will walk up to the two, and he'll pull out the little wrapping that he has. Excuse me, Vilfast. While I was looking around, I did find this, though. But I'm probably going to turn it into the police, since it would better help them.
Did you come up to us?
Yes, I did.
I don't know if a fingernail be necessarily helpful for forensics or anything, unless you can find the person it's missing from.
Well, it sounds like may as well give it to them because we can't do
Yes.
anything with it. But I mean, if we see a man with down part of
Exactly,
fingernail,
but-
we'll know it's probably them.
Have you seen the four fingernail man?
God damn it.
Yes, and from my experience, losing a fingernail, especially in that manner, can very much... He stops and he kind of drifts into memory. Painful. I just wanted to let you know that when I was looking around where the bones were kept, it was stuck within one of the latches.
Well, I am the doctor here, but would you say that that's scream worthy of pain?
I guess it depends on the adrenaline, right?
Yes, it would depend. Adrenaline that goes through the system, sometimes you can be very null to it. And some things, he points to the chemical burns and the graze on his face. These, however, they can be a bit, blood-curdling screaming, but yes.
Well, I imagine so. Walter says, looking very uncomfortable, talking about war scars.
Please no.
Well, either way, it sounds like we got ourselves, probably as much as we're probably gonna get looking around. So you spoke to Mayweather?
Yeah, I spoke to Mayweather. So basically, I told him that there was a break-in. They got the sarcophagus, whatever was in there, they got taken. And basically, he's gonna peruse through the old notes of the old curator, see what was in there, and possibly call a guy, Thomas Pitts. Gonna see what he knows.
Well, I see.
So that's gonna take till evening, and he's probably. Well, he's stressed out. He wouldn't even take cigarettes, so I'll probably just bring him anyway, and just leave him there.
Oh, I'm a little more of a pot man myself, but I do appreciate a good cigarette from time to time.
I personally prefer cigars, but a good lager is good.
I live by the motto of smoke if you got 'em. Although, don't do that in a lab. You get yelled at. I learned that. That's bad.
Whoops! There's a fire.
When dealing with helium and hydrogen and all that stuff, not helium. Helium's noble gas. Smoking's bad. Bad for your health. Bad for the laboratory. Bad for the building.
I'd like to imagine the backstory on that one.
It was almost bad. I almost lost all of my hair.
Oh, and that's what made it bad.
I didn't because it didn't actually happen, but that's probably close to what would have happened. Yeah, let's not talk about me and my mistakes or whatever.
Alright, well, I see the next course of action would probably to speak to the local policey. Maybe we should, give them the nail, and see if we can't talk to that fella they rounded up. This is the break-in. Did that take place last night, or was that like maybe a few days ago?
Today is October 6th of 1926. So this robbery happened on, I think, the 3rd, so it's been about 3 days.
Ah,
Alright, well then, shall we head out?
Alright, so you head into the police station.
Yeah. Where is that?
It's probably downtown.
Yeah, downtown. That makes sense.
But yeah, you can head that way. And I assume you probably like take a taxi or something. You guys are all good enough for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, credit rating of 30. I hope so.
So where do you come from? Oh no. Forgotten your name. What, Mr. Walter? That's it.
Well, it'd be a little more polite to call me Mr. King, because that's my last name, but yes,
I see we're not on a first name basis.
well, we just met,
That's
to be
that's-
honest.
that's fair.
Well, my friend, I come down south, as you can probably tell by my accent. But I
You mean
do.
up south?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
You mean come up south? South's down. If you come down from south, you from New York. You from Maine, New York? That ain't the accent.
Well,
You can't wait, right.
come down, come up. All the same, depending on where you look from. But I come down from good old homeland of Texas. But unfortunately, I did relocate quite a bit when I was growing up. So my accent does kind of waver a bit, but I like to keep it straight. Remember where I come from, and all that.
That is very respectable, and I can relate to that.
Well, yes, I imagine a man of your particular accent would be, I'm sorry to say, probably unwelcome in some areas. So I say that you're a very vigilant man.
Yeah, they've opted to they changed the name of hamburgers to Freedom Patties. No offense if that bothered you any.
No, there's no offense. And as you say before, adjusting here from the fatherland it has been rough, especially when you fought.
I can't imagine that was a very pleasant experience. And tries not to look at his obvious burn scars.
Yeah, it can be a bit difficult growing up here. It's a bit hard. If you make the wrong friends, you either get beat up or you get your shoes stolen, whatever, stuff like that. But
well, that does sound rough.
I mean, yeah, but it's behind whatever.
Oh,
but,
I would say that last one sounds pretty juvenile, but whatever.
I mean, we're just kids. You ain't what are we gonna do? Just take your bikes? That's about it.
I don't know. If someone stole my bike, I'd be mighty upset.
Oh, I chased a kid down for that once.
So you arrive after a comfortable drive. You cross over the river, over the Miskatonic. Eventually, the taxi does pull up to a building that's actually just outside Independence Square. I will ping it on the map for notes. This one right here. We're calling this the police station as of right frickin' now. It's definitely the local constabulary.
Yeah, the constafoolery.
The taxi driver pulls up and he's like, "All right, get out.
All right, here's your fare."
Thank you much." He's gonna point to you, Yannik. Lead with the accent first. Don't want to be driving you Jerry's around, and then he just drives away.
Wow, what a fucking prick.
I will say that is most unkind. Some people here have no class, or manners for that matter.
After living here for a little, it is the least compared to what I had to deal with.
Sorry you had to go through that,
anyway,
my
so what's
friend.
the plan with talking to the police? We can't just be going we're coming to meet the guy that we know from the museum robbery. That we'll probably end up in there with him if we do that. Not a good idea.
Well,
I'd say our first steps is to walk in, be polite, make sure that we explain that we're here on behalf on Mr. Mayweather, to follow up on what's on the investigation, and we will probably tell them a few of the things that they probably sort of missed. I imagine that they didn't find the nail, and they didn't open the sarcophagus and take a look inside.
yes, and if we say that we're doing it in Goodville, they will be likely to at least listen. And again, if they do have questions, they can direct them to Mr. Mayweather.
I think I will. If everyone's right with it, I think I'll take point.
Sure, yeah. He's the smooth talker of us.
No one knows that yet.
I will be the last one to follow, but I will be the first to hold the door.
So I assume you're all walking on in to the police station.
You know it.
All right. So you walk in. It's a pretty small building, honestly. It's not like they have major crimes happening in Arkham. So most people who do get arrested usually get outsourced. Maybe placed in a holding cell for a little bit until they sober up from drunk and disorderly, and then they're sent on their way.
Yeah, just like a few towny drunks.
Yeah. So you get in, and a blonde fella sitting at a desk looks up at you guys. He's like, howdy, how can I help?
Howdy, friend. My name is Mr. Walter King, and these are my associates. Mr. Yannik Hammerstein. I apologize if I said that incorrectly.
No, Mr. King, you pronounced my name correctly.
And my other associate, Mr. Gregory Feldman. Is it just Feldman?
It's Feldman.
Yeah, but on to more serious business. We are here on behalf of Mr. Mayweather about the break-in. we would like to contribute some things we found that your initial investigation may have missed.
All right. I guess I could take a few notes down. What do you gotta say?
Yannik will pull out the little gauze wrapper with the fingernail.
Okay. That's disgusting.
It is. It is deeply unpleasant to us to carry it around, but I don't know who did the initial investigation, but you should tell them that one of the casings had a man's nail in it.
Yes, it was stuck in one of the latches to the bone cases.
Huh. Well, I guess if we find suspects, we could just match them, see who's missing a fingernail. So,
That's what we were thinking, my friend.
Pardon me, sir, but what's your name? We didn't ask your name.
Me? I'm Daniel Cliff. Pleasure to meet you.
Good to meet you, Daniel Cliff. I go in for a handshake.
I go to shake his hand.
He's gonna kind of stand up from his desk for the handshake. It's always a pleasure. It's a handshakes all around. Awkwardly takes the wrapping gauze fingernail. This is weird, but thanks, I guess. Is there anything else you'd like to report?
Volts is looks at them, kind of like debating whether they should tell him about the mummy thing.
We was wanting to know if we could talk to one of the perpetrators that was incapacitated at the scene of the crime.
Oh, you want to talk to the old man, eh?
Yeah.
Sorry, but you can't.
Is he not talking? Is he just not responding? What's the problem?
Sorry, but police business kind of confidential. I do appreciate the help with the fingernail and all, but I mean, we try to keep these things, inside.
Well, if I may speak, I do know a thing or two about certain legal matters. I myself have been assistant to many investigations in my time. In my youth, I was something of a correspondent. And this is a straight full-face lie.
I was about to say, your options are to roll law or to roll fast talk.
Fast talk for sure.
Yeah, I figured that's where it was going.
Trust me, I know
I could
the
have taken
law.
but I decided that lying was more needed.
Oh my god.
Hard success.
Hard success, Christ. Okay. So, the officer, Daniel, just kind of shakes his head. He's like, I believe you. But unfortunately, all that law and stuff doesn't really help when you're interrogating a corpse. So
I'm sorry, what?
He's dead.
Hey everyone, it's me again. I just want to thank you all again for watching the first part of the On Thin Dice podcast. Yeah, I don't think we dropped the title of the podcast during the entire session, but something for next time. Speaking of next time, this podcast is 1 hour of a 4-hour-long Call of Cthulhu session. That means there's going to at least be 3 more parts before it's done. I'm going to be releasing these episodes on every Monday until they're all out, and I hope you enjoy them. And again, be sure to share them with your friends, and with that, see everyone next time.